on 26 January 1950. And there is another reason why we celebrate Republic Day today. As in 1930, Purna Swaraj, a complete independence, was signified by the Indian National Congress. People across India celebrate the day with utmost zeal and patriotism, hoisting their country flag in several parts of the country.
Can anybody say how our constitution was made?
Let me tell about the making of the constitution. Our Indian constitution consists of Article 465 and 25 parts and 12 schedules. In 1946, during cabinet mission under Lawrence, Cripps and A.V. Alexander, the Constituent Assembly was formed. Can you tell about the working of the constitution?
Yes, I know it. Let me explain to you. The first meeting was held on 9th December 1946, whereas in the second meeting, which was held on 11th December 1946, under the control of President Rajendra Prasad and Vice President H.C. Mukherjee and V.D. Krishnamacharya, and the third meeting, which was held on 13th December 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru proposed objective resolution, and this concept was taken from USA. Okay, but I don't know whether some changes have been made in the constitution or not. Darshini, can you explain me?
Yeah, let me say about the changes. After independence, our Constitution Assembly became a sovereign body and acts as a parliament. The members of the parliament were 389 and they were decreased as 299 because of partition. Ishita, can you explain us about the other functions of a Constituent Assembly?
It maintains law and order in the society and helps in effective governing of the state. It protects the freedom and deals with fundamental rights of citizens. It creates an aspiration of a people in creating a good society. It also divides the power between the federal government and the state. We have read that there are some salient features of a constitution. Can anybody say about that?
Salient means uniqueness of the constitution.
India has the lengthiest written constitution in the world. It is drawn from various sources, that is more than 60 countries.
It is a blend of rigidity and flexibility.
Federal government with unitary bias.
It represents parliamentary form of government.
Synthesis of parliament sovereignty and supremacy of Supreme Court.
It has integrated and independent judiciary.
Single citizenship, which was taken from the UK model.
I have got an idea. Let's gather all our friends and demonstrate our Indian Constitution.
Yeah, it sounds good. Let's do it.
A warm welcome to one and all present here. Special greetings to our correspondent Mr. Manjunath sir, and academic director Mrs. Pramila ma'am, and our lovable teachers and non-teaching staffs. Happy Republic Day. We all have gathered here to celebrate this beautiful occasion. Just before, we have seen a small conversation about our Indian Constitution, but we have seen only few. So my friends are gathered here to explain our Constitution in depth. So without wasting our time, let's start the show. First, let's start with our preamble. Our school people leader going to introduce it.
Preamble. We the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socially secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity and to promote among them all, fraternity assuring the dignity of an individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, we do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. A preamble is an introductory in the Constitution which gives us the reasons and the guiding values of the Constitution. In this preamble, sovereignty, socialist fraternity had been added by Indira Gandhi in 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976.
Now let's enter into the parts of our Constitution. Before heading into it, let's see a small gist about it. The Constitution of India contains 465 articles in 25 parts, which also contains 12 schedules. Total number of amendment bills passed till today in Parliament is 105. The year 2019 to 2020 was extremely important from the point of view of important constitutional amendments, landmark judgments and constitutional crises. Here are my friends to explain the parts and schedules. Now let's hear the abstract of our Constitution, that's the schedules.
Schedule 1. State, Union Territories name and their boundary details. Schedule 2. Salary and emolument of all the officials. Schedule 3. Oath and affirmation of all the authorities except President and Vice President. Schedule 4. Allocations of seats in Rajya Sabha. Schedule 5. Administration and control law details of tribal areas, scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. Schedule 6. Administration and control law details of tribal areas in Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya and Mizoram.
Schedule 7. This schedule deals with the three legislative lists known as Union, State and Concurrent. Schedule 8. This deals with the 22 official languages recognized by the Constitution. Schedule 9. This deals with the abolition of Zamindari system. Schedule 10. This is also known as anti-defection law. Schedule 11 contains the provisions that specifies the powers, authorities and responsibilities of Panchayat. Schedule 12 deals with the provisions that specifies the powers, authorities and responsibilities of municipalities.
Now let's enter into the parts of our constitution. Part 1, Union and its territories.
Article 1 of the Constitution says that name and territory of India. Article 2(1) of the Constitution says that admission or establishment of new state. Article 3 of the Constitution says that it empowers the Parliament to make a law relating to the formation of new states and alteration of existing states.
Article 4. It speaks that the Parliament has power to make laws in the Parliament.
Next, Part 2, Citizenship.
Article 5. Citizenship. A person who was born in India, either his parents born in India, if he has ordinarily resided in India before 5 years in 1950.
Article 6 says that a citizen migrated from Pakistan to Indian territory will deemed to be the citizen of India.
Article 7. Rights of citizenship for certain migrants to Pakistan who return later to India.
Article 8. Rights of citizenship of certain person who is residing outside India. Article 9. Renunciation if he has voluntarily acquired citizenship of any foreign state. Article 10. Continuation of right of citizenship.
Article 11. Parliament to regulate the right of citizenship by law.
Next, Part 3, Fundamental Rights.
Fundamental rights is contained in Part 3. It consists from Article 12 to Article 35. It is a negative obligation. It is justiciable. It is the Magna Carta of our Constitution. There are two types of fundamental rights, absolute and non-absolute. The Supreme Court is the guardian of our fundamental rights. Now, my team is here to elaborate the articles in the fundamental rights.
Article 14 to 18 is about right to equality. Article 14, equality before law. Article 15, prohibition of discrimination. Article 16, equal opportunity in matters of public employment. Article 17, abolition of untouchability. Article 18, abolition of titles.
Article 19. Protection of rights regarding freedom of speech, freedom to form association, freedom to assemble, freedom to profess any profession, freedom to settle or resettle in any part of the country, freedom to move freely throughout India.
Article 20. Protection against conviction for offences. Article 21. Right to life.
Article 21A. Article 21A speaks about primary education for all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Article 22. Article 22 speaks about prevention against arrest and detention.
Right against exploitation. Article 20, prohibition of trafficking human beings and forced labor. Article 24, prohibition of child labor. This absolute right of children below the age of 14 years were not allowed to work in factories, mines and other dangerous places so that their health is not affected.
Article 25 to 28 says the rights to freedom of religion. Article 25, freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion. Article 26, freedom to manage religious affairs. Article 27, freedom as to payment of taxes for promotion of any particular religion. Article 28, freedom as to attendance at religious instruction or religious worship in certain educational institutions.
Article 29 and 30 deals with cultural and educational rights. Article 29. This right provides any section of the citizens residing in India having their own culture, language, or the right to conserve their culture. Article 30. This right provides the minority to form and govern their own educational institution, and it is also known as Charter of Educational Right.
Article 32. Article 32 is the right to constitutional remedies. It entitles the citizens of India to move the Supreme Court or High Court for the enforcement of these rights. It is also known as the heart and soul of the Constitution by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Article 32 includes habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari.
Article 33. Fundamental right exemption for paramilitary, military, etc. Article 34. Restriction of fundamental right while martial law was in force. Article 35. Parliament has power to make law.
Fundamental rights is defined as the basic human freedom that every citizen has for a proper and harmonious development of personality.
Next, part 4, Directive Principles of State Policy.
It is known as the soul of our Indian Constitution. B.R. Ambedkar has said DPSP as the novel features. It is a non-justiciable one. It is a consideration of matter before drafting a law. Socialistic, Gandhian and liberal intellectual are the three imaginary classifications of DPSP. Now my team is going to prolong the articles in DPSP.
Article 36. Article 36 is a definition part of Directive Principles of State Policy.
Article 37. Application, significance and nature.
Article 38. Central Government Act. State to secure the social order for the promotion of welfare of the people and minimize inequalities.
Article 39. Article 39 of Indian Constitution says that all the citizens, men and women, have an equal right to an adequate livelihood. Article 39A. Article 39A of Indian Constitution deals with the provision to equal justice and free legal aid.
Article 40. The organization of village panchayat.
Article 41. Right to work or education. If not, money will be provided as pension.
Article 42. Provision for just and human conditions of work and maternity relief.
Article 43. Living wage, promotion of cottage industries.
Article 43A. Participation of workers in the management of industries.
Article 43B. Promotion of cooperative society.
Article 44. Uniform Civil Code.
Article 45. Provision for free and compulsory education for children. Article 46. Promotion of educational and economic interests for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other weaker sections.
Article 47. Article 47 is one of the directive principles which directs with the state of rights, level of nutrition and standard in living and improvement of public health as among its primary duties. And in particular, the state shall endeavour to bring about prohibition of intoxicating drinks and drugs which are injurious to health.
Article 48. Organization of agriculture and animal husbandry. Article 48A. Protection and improvement of environment and safeguarding of wildlife and forest.
Article 49. Protection of monuments, palaces, goods of national importance.
Article 50. It separates the judiciary from executive.
Article 51. Promotion of international peace and security.
These principles act as a yardstick to judge the law that governs us. Moreover, it also constrains the state to make a draconian law.
Next, part 4A, Fundamental Duties. Fundamental duties are defined as the moral obligation of all citizens and help to promote the spirit of patriotism and to uphold the unity of India. Fundamental duties are categorized into two: moral duty, civic duty. Moral duty, cherishing of noble ideas of freedom struggle. Civic duty, respecting the Constitution, national flag and the national anthem. The 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 added 10 fundamental duties to the Indian Constitution. In 86 Amendment Act of 2002 added the 11th fundamental duty. In nature, they are rendered non-justiciable.
Fundamental duties abided by the Constitution and respect national flag and national anthem, follows ideals of freedom struggles, protects sovereignty and integrity of India, defend country and render national services when called upon to do so, developing the spirit of common brotherhood. Pressure composite culture of the country, pressure natural environment, develop scientific temper and humanity, safeguard public property and avoid violence, strive for excellence in all spheres of life.
The 11th fundamental duty is provide opportunities for education to his child or what between the age of 6 and 14 years. Next, part 5, Union Government.
Part 5 consists of Article 52 to 78 that includes Union Executive Government, which comprises President, Prime Minister, Vice President, Council of Ministers and Attorney General.
President.
He is the head of the state and the first citizen of the country. He is the nominal executive president of India, having the powers of Navy, Air and Military Force. Prime Minister. He is the head of the government and leader of Lok Sabha. He is the real executive as well as the de facto executive. Prime Minister of India is as powerful as President of US till he holds the majority of Lok Sabha. Vice President is a person whose primary responsibility is to act in the place of President in the absence of President. Vice President holds for 5 years in this Council of Ministers. It is the most powerful institution and executive body of India. They are composed of those of governments who are responsible for ministry. Attorney General. He is the highest law officer of India. As a chief legal advisor to the government, he advises on all legal matters to the union government.
Legislature powers of President. Legislature powers of President talks about the Article 123. Powers of President to promulgate ordinance during recess of Parliament.
Union Judiciary. Union Judiciary is the ultimate interpreter of rights and it acts as the guardian of the Constitution. Under the collegium system, the judges can be appointed or can be transferred. It is an independent body. Highest ranking officer of Union Judiciary is Chief Justice of India.
Next, Part 6, State Government.
Part 6. It deals with the state government. Article 152 to 212. The executive, general and legislative deals with government, chief minister, council of minister. These people perform all legislative and executive jobs for the states.
Legislative power of governor. Governor is an ordinance like during the legislative using Article 230. High Court. High Court is apex in the state, binding with other subordinate courts. High Court judges were appointed as same as Supreme Court judges.
Next, Part 8, Union Territories.
Article 239. Administration of Union Territory. Article 239A. Creation of local legislature or council of ministers are both for certain Union territories. Article 239AA. Special provision with respect to Delhi. Article 239AB. The provision in case of failure of constitutional legislation. Article 240. The power of administrator to promulgate ordinances during recess of legislature. Article 241. High Court for certain Union territories. Now we have 8 Union territories. Delhi, Chhattisgarh, Andaman and Nicobar, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Lakshadweep, Pondicherry, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman.
Next, Part 9, Panchayat, Part 9A, Municipality, Part 9B, Cooperative Society, and Part 10, Scheduled and Tribal Areas.
Part 9. Every panchayat unless sooner dissolved at any law for its first time being enforced shall continue for 5 years from the date appointed for its first meeting. Articles of Part 9 are 243 to 243O. Part 9A. Part 9A was added on 1st June 1993. It means the state government to consolidate duties in respect of recipients. Articles of Part 9A are 243P to 243ZG. Part 9B. Defining the power of the state legislature and centre to regulate incorporation, elections and governing of these cooperative societies. Articles of Part 9B are 243ZH to 243ZT. Part 10. Part 10 of the Indian Constitution consists of articles about scheduled and tribal areas, administration of scheduled and tribal areas. Article of Part 10 is 244A.
Next, Part 11, Center and State Relationship.
Part 11. It deals with relation between the union and state. Article 245 to 263. Also, it deals with the administrative and legislative relation between them.
Next, Part 12, Finance, Property, Suits.
Part 12 of the Indian Constitution deals with finance, property, contracts and suits. Article 264 to 300A speaks about finance, borrowing, property, contracts, suits, liabilities and right to property.
Next, Part 13, Trade and Commerce.
Part 13. Article 301 to 307. It speaks about trade, commerce and intercourse within the territory of India.
Next, Part 14, Service under Union and State.
Part 14, Article 323. It deals with service under the Union and State government like Union Public Service Commission and State Public Service Commission.
Next, Part 14A, Tribunals.
Part 14A. Tribunals. Anybody acting judicially for adjudicating cases or special laws.
All courts are tribunals, but all tribunals are not courts. They are quasi-judicial in nature. 323A, administrative tribunals. 323B, tribunals for other matters.
Next, part 15, election.
Election Commission. Election Commission is an independent body and has a wide range of powers. It was formed on 25th January 1950. It implements the code of conduct which can punish any candidate or party. Constitutional autonomous body conducts the election for President, Vice President, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, state legislative councils and assemblies.
Next, part 16, special provisions to certain classes.
Part 16 Special Provisions. Article 330 to 342 speaks about the reservation of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes in education, jobs, grants, etc.
Next, part 17, official language.
Part 17. Official language for communication between one state and the another or between a state and the union. Language to be used in the Supreme Court and in the High Courts and for acts, bills, etc.
Next, part 18, emergency provisions, part 19, miscellaneous, and part 20, constitutional amendments.
Part 18, emergency provisions. Article 350 to 360. Article 350 to 360 says that a state of emergency in India refers to a period of common events that can be proclaimed by the President of India during certain crisis situations. Under the advice of Cabinet of Ministers, the President can overrule many provisions of the Constitution which guarantees fundamental rights to the citizens of India. Financial emergency hasn't been proclaimed as of now and won't be proclaimed anymore due to improved economic provisions. Part 19, miscellaneous. Article 361 to 367. Article 361 to 367 says that the President or the Governor is not answerable to any court for the exercise of powers and duties of his office. Part 20, amendment of the Constitution. Article 368. Article 368 says that an amendment of the Constitution may be initiated only by the introduction of a bill for the purpose in either House of Parliament.
Next, part 21, temporary transaction.
Part 21. Part 21 of the Indian Constitution is a compilation of law pertaining to the Constitution of India as a country and the Union of States that it is made of. This part of the Constitution consists of temporary, translation and special provisions.
Next, part 22, short title.
Part 22. It deals with short titles, commencement and repeals from Article 393 to 395.
So we have seen all parts of our Constitution. Thanks for all my friends to explain it. Special thanks to the teachers who trained us. Our Constitution is the pride. It is the longest in worldwide. Those who love their nation would always follow the Constitution. At last, as Indian citizens, our request to all the people is to read our Constitution and teach about it to the upcoming generations.